Bruce Lee's approach to training is defined by clarity and flexibility, as during his time, most training methods and peers were focused on regional practices and rigid workout programs. However, he was interested in traditional styles and took what he needed from bodybuilding, combat training, and other sports, rearranging them according to his own needs. In addition to working with weights and kettlebells, he also trained with renowned style trainer Mark Siki, not neglecting any aspect of his workout. Daily, he intensely focused on punching and kicking drills, while also running, cycling, and jumping rope. In short, he was a versatile athlete. On one occasion, Joe Weider said that Lee had the best physique he had ever seen. Even over 45 years after Lee's death, people are still inspired by his speed and strength. Even a few recently surfaced shirtless photos of Lee are enough to write a new story. Of course, Lee's goal was not just to make his body look good, but to develop a functional body through his unique training principles. By the late 1950s, Lee, an elite athlete, competitor, and instructor, could perform incredible feats like doing push-ups with just 2 fingers and sending opponents flying. After an event in 1964, he completely re-evaluated all of his training techniques. That year, Lee was challenged to a duel by one of his students, Wong Jack Man, from the Chinese martial arts school where he taught. Many believed that the challenge was an attempt to show Lee's superiority in teaching traditional Chinese martial arts in the West. The story goes that if Lee lost, he would agree to shut down his martial arts school. Lee defeated his opponent in a short time, and after the fight, he chased the man around the gym. Despite the fight lasting only 3 minutes, Lee thought it went on longer than necessary, and he was out of breath. Angered, Lee ruthlessly re-examined his methods, deciding to create more sophisticated and comprehensive training techniques, as his wife Linda described. Soon after, Lee began a rigorous regimen of strength and fitness training that would continue until his death in 1973. He constantly adjusted his workouts and kept detailed notes in his journal. He would often say that punches on the punching bag should never be passive, urging people to imagine the bag as their greatest enemy and give it everything they had. Moreover, he would emphasize the importance of defending oneself while practicing, acting as if facing a real opponent. When working with the bag, Lee would position himself and move as if an actual fight was happening. He believed that the techniques he learned in the gym could never be applied effectively without real, serious practice. For Bruce Lee, weightlifting was important. He believed that a fighter without enough strength could never perform at their best. The experience gained from this mindset, combined with his entry into the film industry, led him to become even more involved with heavy weights. Initially, Lee worked on reverse curls to develop his arms. After noticing the benefits of weight training, he developed a more comprehensive program, as it had dramatically increased his strength. Exercises, combined with meditation, were never new for Lee, but he knew that without a balanced focus on endurance, the effectiveness of strength training would be limited. So, he adopted several methods to achieve extraordinary cardiovascular endurance. For Lee, running was like a form of meditation added to his exercise routine, a time to reflect alone with his thoughts. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, he would start his training with a few kilometers of running, changing pace, and running over 6 kilometers, sometimes sprinting short distances before returning to a normal pace. He would also drag his feet while running. Through jump rope training, Lee not only maintained his endurance and leg muscles, but also learned to stay lighter on his feet. He performed this exercise on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for 30 minutes. Cycling on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays also became part of his routine. Pedaling at high speeds for 45-minute sessions helped Lee increase his endurance and recovery from leg fatigue. If this video gets 1,500 likes, Bruce Lee's training program will be shared.